So, hello, Leo, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racy, and I'm going to be giving the message for you today. It is a general message, so take it as it resonates. It's for Leo suns and those with, very strong or significant Leo placements in their chart. If you know what house Leo rules and what's in there, it might be able to give you some specific insights to a certain area of your life, For those of you not familiar with me or the channel, I have no filter. I don't sugarcoat my messages. So, if that's not your thing, I'm always very respectful. I just read how I read. You can always just sign off now. Otherwise, we are going to be getting into this. Leo. We've got a lot of themes here, a lot of action, activation, initiation kind of energy. All right. And a lot of symbolism with trees and expanding and branches, like the connections you have with people that you've come across in your life. Whether they're the fruits or they're the branches or the bark or the leaves or the fucking pests, bugs and whatever else, in your tree. But this is very much about going and looking at all of what your tree really consists of, right? It starts with my Rainbow Warrior activation deck, which I pulled as an integration energy, asking Spirit, what does Leo's energy need to integrate, right, for the month of December? And we got the number 2 card, which is activation. And it's stimulate, amplify, trigger, convert, willingness, stasis, quantum shift, and sacred geometry. And it says, what is the most prevalent energy active in your life today? Are you ready for a change? Activation heralds a time of Kundalini movement in the body and great change in your perception. Throughout your life since childhood, your chi energy has moved through your body to activate your endocrine system. Each glandular activation is directly related to the spiritual and emotional elements that particular gland governs. The activations we are most aware of take place in the fight or flight glands of the pancreas and the pituitary gland activated at puberty. These activations can cause major shifts in the central nervous system and the chemistry of the body, in addition to how we perceive, think, and feel. Embrace each awakening. Know you are safe by nurturing yourself with love, understanding, patience, and nutrition. Leo, this is about taking care of yourself, knowing that you do go through changes and those changes are necessary, and that all change has its purpose, that all major change has its purpose as much as the small ones. Being able to integrate your ability to shift, right? To initiate a shift. Because the guidance cards is every journey starts with a single step, and it came out with collaborative dreaming underneath. And the immediate feeling I got was someone's manifesting you. Someone's drawing you in. Someone is asking and praying for something that would manifest you being their mirror. Someone's manifesting you in their tree to mirror back and become a part of your tree. Every journey starts with a single step. This is about you being vulnerable and willing to allow your heart to create something beautiful to feel by taking an action step towards something. Literally, the next card that I pulled, the 3rd card at the top, is Action Speak Loudly. I pulled it as an unconditionally loving action guidance card. Like, what can we do from an unconditionally loving vibration? That's action. What's the action, right, of that vibration? And it's Action Speak Loudly. Express your love through your actions. You show up. Someone you love needs you. You show up. There's no questions asked. Doesn't matter if they're new in your life and you just fucking love them and their energy, or if they've been around forever in your soul experience, and no matter how much pain you go through, you can't stop loving this person. Doesn't matter. You love them, let it speak. You show up for people that you love. You show up. this is the big perspective shift. Maybe you weren't taught that. Maybe the people that loved you didn't show up for you. The people that were quote unquote supposed to love you didn't show up for you. To the best of their ability, they didn't show up. So maybe you've been in a pattern where you haven't shown up. And now that's the milestone with the Hanged Man, is the perspective shift. Getting to the bones of the issue. You don't quit on people you love. You don't not show up. You make it a point to be there. Why? Because it's important that they know you care. It's important that they know they're on your tree and that you remember they're a part of your tree. It's important. So as we get into the weeks, we start with Earth Mother, the Empress card. And it's this, bared green, almost jade sculpted female figurine with the tree growing out of her head, and there's no leaves. It's like you've only remembered the brass tacks of your tree. There's only so many people you deem important. Maybe it's only yourself. The trunk of it. The thing that supports everything else on the tree. Maybe you've been self-creating for a while. Maybe self-love creation for a while. But you've forgotten all of the different elements that go on the tree, which I think is what the activation card above it is very much like. It's like bringing life and color to all these different branches radiating out. It's about crossing a threshold and deciding what it is you want to see. What path do you want to go down? Do you want to go down the path where you're not showing up, or do you want to go down a path where you just show up because that's what you do? You show up because you love. That's what you do. That will never change. They don't want you to show up. Well, then they shouldn't love you and call on you and manifest you. Because that's what you do. You love them and you show up. You decide what you want. When you choose victory, okay, because the Six of Wands follows. You choose victory. You decide you have the will and the stamina to do that. To love and show up. You have the stamina. You choose to win. Don't be hasty. Don't overextend your energy. Like just because you're showing up doesn't mean you always have to actually physically show up and run across town or run across country or run across wherever. Because you can show up and be present on the phone. Make sure that you're not running yourself into the ground. There are plenty of ways to show up. And if things trigger you last week of the year, people aren't what you expect, because you're in a mindset of victory, moving forward, seeing the greater beauty of the tree, besides just the bare bones of it, right? You're going through this activation to take the first step, to let your actions speak loudly, to start remembering who fills up your tree with all that beautiful energy. You're going to initiate and take steps because someone needs you in their life to love them. Without a doubt. Somebody needs you in your life because they love you. It's that simple. There's meant to be love there. So, if this is for you, Leo, or a cross watcher, just know that everything starts with the first step you take, and either you take it or you don't. You either look at the beauty of someone being in your life experience or you don't. You either forget how beautiful it's been to have them in your life or you don't. You can shift your whole perspective. You can be, I sneeze. I always think of sneezing as clearing the third eye chakra blocks. Like I think you're seeing, like, you can be present. You don't have to disappear or go away. You can take the first step to reopen things. Just make sure you're not running yourself into the ground, because Leo's huge heart is gregarious. It wants to overgive when it feels an abundance of love all the time. When it feels an abundance of any energy, it just wants to give and share and radiate. You can have all your light, all that it is and all that it represents, be exactly that bright in the seemingly smallest of actions, like listening. All of that beautiful love energy can go into a night of retreat for the self. Being present for a moment because you're guided to be present for just a moment. Letting them know it's okay, reassuring them whatever, and they're good, life is good, don't worry so much. It's not terrible. You could choose to do anything right now. Right now I'm going to go take a bath and I'm going to relax and I'm going to read my book. I'm going to lay in bed. Just let my thoughts wander as I stare at the ceiling and not feel guilty about it. I don't love people any less because I'm not going above and beyond what they would ever expect. No, you love, you're present, you're there. When you have to show up, you show up. We all know when it's that moment. Not like you wouldn't. There's probably some people in your life, it don't matter what the fuck your relationship looks like. It could be in a complete, wonderful, understanding place. It could be a fucking shit show, and they'd call you at 2 or 3 in the morning, and they'd be like, I fucking need you, and you would still actually physically show up for them. That's Leo's heart. That's how big it gets. It can get to that I don't give a fuck, I love you more than anything else mode. Nothing else matters more than me loving you right now mode. What do you need? My soul loves yours mode. Either this is Leo's energy or it's definitely someone in Leo's life. It's definitely someone in your life. Maybe you're not always seeing eye to eye, this 4 of Swords card at the end. Maybe sometimes you need a break from them because they don't understand how much you love. That's fine. You're just going to love them in different ways that don't hurt you so much. To feel like you're giving of so much. You can love them just as big in smaller ways. It's like huge energy, itty bitty teeny little space. It's like compressing it, it's just making your love denser. It's like the universe fitting inside of a marble, you know? So, I hope this helps you understand, Leo. You know what you are going to be moving through for December. You might even be dealing with, honestly, you might even be dealing with a maternal situation where the maternal energy in your experience is not remembering the beauty of you in their tree. You know what I mean? Like a mother energy is not seeing the beauty of you in their tree and the people in your tree. Like they're forgetting that you maybe have a tree with people that you miss and can't be forgotten. I'm getting that energy because there's a lot of feminine energy on here, and the Earth Mother, it's literally like the Empress card. It's usually a mother, with implied children card. Maybe you're forgetting about, or someone is forgetting about the fact that there's important people in your tree that maybe are shared in their tree. And just because they're important to them doesn't mean they're not important to you in your tree. It's like where the branches intertwine. And you don't know whose it is anymore. But it's a part of both your trees. It's a part of the landscape. It's both. It's equally important. It's equally important. Apples don't far fall from the tree, even if it's something like grandchildren or if your own children. Maybe you're not with your partner. You can't forget that the child you share time, love, and energy with is also a part of their tree. That child has 2 people's trees attached. It's a part of their tree, both. It's important to remember that in relationships. Especially grandparents. Forget how important grandparents are in their grandchildren's lives and how much those grandchildren idolize and love their grandparents. They go with their kids. They don't love, blah, 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 blah. They don't even know how they really are. They wouldn't, da, da, da. Like, you don't negate how someone feels for someone else and the beautiful part of their life they are always meant to be. You know, I guess that's the final point of December. You know, so at the end of the year, you know, if it's one of those things where family and the holidays and everything else, you know, you're dealing with missing or longing and whatever, especially under the, you know, the conditions of the world. Don't take it personal when someone is forgetting your value and your beauty and your importance in all of the trees you're in. Because for every leaf and every branch and every piece of bark and every pest and every fruit you have on your tree, everybody else has on their trees too. We all forget the beauty of our trees. But we can't lose sight of the fact that we're all looking at everybody else's. And that when we look at everybody else's, it is a beautiful sight. They have beautiful experiences, beautiful lives, beautiful people they got to connect with, beautiful shared moments that create one big picture. It's not fair to take away the fruit off of someone else's tree because it's just yours and that's the only way you remember it, because all of a sudden that thing that's only yours disappears not just off their tree but everybody else's. Everybody else that person that is your fruit would have touched and became a part of their tree. Their memories, their experiences, and vice versa. Understand there's more in the world than just yourself, right? And other people are going to have to learn that too. There's more in the world than just himself. That's important. So until next time, guys, this is Divine Rebel Racy signing off. I love you all. Remember always to love each other and most importantly, love yourselves. Take care, guys.